I don't know why you went into that, dude. It was just, I don't get it. There was no salt. There was no pepper. You didn't like it. I don't know. You were Googlestein, man.
I guess, man.
Yeah, par for the course, par for the course. Ladies and gents, after much awaited time, Kickback is back. We are back in session. Class is in session, and we're here to educate you on your music history. I am Professor Frank Spacuzza. Joined with me here today is Professor and local music legend, Alessandro Badalamenti. Sandro,
how you doing?
I could not have picked a better face or person to break us off here today between your overall musical expertise. I mean, like, a lot of people will talk to me about music and it's like, oh, neat, like you like this band. Like, that's so cool, dude. Way to go. But you talk about how you study certain guitarists and do all these certain things, and it's always been like super impressive. So I absolutely wanted to break us off on your note, especially being in your band, Code of Conduct, our lead guitarist. I say our like I'm a part of it. I've gone to enough shows where it feels like I'm a part of the group.
You're a regular at the shows. It's like we are right now. It's a small enough thing where it's like we're just playing for the folks and the friends, and like you're a part of that group, man. We appreciate the support and everything. But yeah, like you said, it's like I wouldn't say expertise. I wouldn't say any of us are really experts in anything just yet at our age. Like 20? Give or take 20 years old. But yeah, there's music. My entire life has always been like, it just happened one day, and it was like ever since then it was ingrained into me. And until the day that I die, there's always going to be something to learn, always going to be something to pull from, whether that be any genre of music, So always something to learn. Yeah.
Which is wise, man. I'm glad, because it's like we do specialize. At least what I've been trying to do is pick an artist, pick a genre, pick a something for an episode, and I didn't even want to narrow it down for you.
Yeah.
I said, look, we're going to talk some Dead, we're going to talk some Allman Brothers, which is our Kicks Picks of the day. Give that a listen. And, everyone in between. So I'm just super stoked to have you here.
And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure and a half, like, honest to God. I do feel bad for you, though, because I am going to bring up, as our very first topic, something that just may trigger you.
Okay.
Right off the bat, and that's that the Fish summer tour dates have been announced. Yeah, see, he scoffs at me, and I'm like, you can't appreciate the Dead and all these other folks without acknowledging Fish. And a lot of people get upset when you call Fish the second Grateful Dead, but is that what do you think about that? Because I understand people get ticked about that, but at the same time, there is some truth to it.
Well, they're two completely different things. It's like they had their two completely different things. They like the jam stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had the experience to appreciate all of Fish. I listen here and there. My roots are much more like cemented in the Allman Brothers, and as of recent years since I got to college, like the Dead. Also, but Fish it wouldn't be territory that I can necessarily comment on. I know Trey is a fantastic guitar player. I know that he's made a living for himself doing what he's good at. But, they're really doing their own thing. Like, you go to those shows, it's a different vibe. They got their silliness going on. The Dead's got their thing going on. Dead and Co have their own thing going on. It's two vibes, but it's different in like an authentic way. But I wouldn't call them similar, like the same thing. It's like they're doing their own thing in their respective right. Yes. I think that's all you can really ask for as a music group.
Which is valid. I see it as more of a Venn diagram, because you're right. They are two completely different things. And so it's funny. My girlfriend Chloe was, saying, aren't they kind of the same thing? And I was like, yes, for you, as for someone that's not, into the jam scene or into that sort of music, whether it's house or funk or whatever you're into, and that is something that's foreign to you, it's beyond easy to see it as, didn't Trey just pick up where Jerry left off in 95? But it is completely different. And I think I've sent you that video of what these Fish festivals look like.
Yeah.
And when you see something like that in, any of the 2010s or now 2020s, compared to all I can think of is Venetia, Oregon, 72, people running around naked, freaking out on, a couple tabs to the dome piece. It's like, how can these two be comparable? But I think when you look at, it's sort of like values, I'd argue, as bands. I think that they both share similar values of sharing music. I think the taping is still something that defies musical logic, at least present day musical logic, especially in an era where you have Ticketmaster and all these other and countless scalpers and this and that.
Not only that, you also have like things like Nugs as well, like recording these shows.
Oh my God.
4K, like you just get them online. Like it's not
Yes.
at a certain point, like imagine going to like a Grateful Dead show and like your life is pretty tame until that point, and you get to this place and everyone's just going wild, and it's like energetic music, and the same for like an Allman Brothers show. Now, if I wanted to, like the brothers with Derek Trucks, Warren Haynes, and the drummer from Joe Russo, someone with Joe Russo, they did a tour. And it wasn't a tour, but they did a night at MSG, and I missed that show. But you know, the whole thing is streaming on Nugs in 4K, and like, you know, especially for musicians who wanted to learn and listen from this music, it was so much harder. You see more like technically amazing players, and you see so many more fantastic musicians now because we have so much access right in front of our face. Like, would you say that's less sacred? Because like I feel like, you know, at a certain point when you have everything in 4K given to you, you take these shows for granted.
It's a fantastic question. That was a head scratcher. I had to stare off into space there. I'm like, but I think it goes both ways. I think it totally goes both ways. Are you in some ways dismantling the, you know, sacredness, like you had said, of, you know, being at the show and having that be a one-time thing? And I was there when Jerry played, all the, you know, old farts. But at the same time, I do think that, and that comes back to what I was saying about values, is their whole point is we want to share this with everybody.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle, Bub and Janae, they've been sending me their ticket stubs from the shows they went to from 93 to 95.
Yeah.
And I've been able to go on re-listen, Nugs, either or. And it feels like I'm there. It feels like I'm there. They're saying, wow, like this was a great Here Comes Sunshine. And this is when they were in their early 20s and they were screwing around in Deer Creek, Illinois. And I'm like, wow, I can sit here in the Bronx, New York City and check out a show of, you know, one of Jerry's last days.
It's like the closest thing we have to time travel at this point. Like those
It's a fantastic point.
Because it seems like when you listen to it and it's those tapes that they were so close to the speakers and they were at the show and they were there, you know, like mic'd up like 4K video, like that'll get you like how the audio sound on stage, but like when it's there and you hear like the people like brustling next to you and it's all that stuff, it's like you were in the audience. And like when you go to, me and you have been to quite a few live shows together.
Yeah.
Lauren knows we've been to a couple of shows, but it's a different vibe when you're there in person. Like it's not the same as like listening to it on a streaming platform.
No.
Like the symbiotic relationship between the sounds coming out of the speaker, the musicians playing it, the real-time feel, like it's all real unraveling in the moment. And like, yeah, you can rewind and re-listen on these things, but when you go in person to a show like that and you feel the vibrations coming through the speakers, through your body, and throughout your entire system, like it's a different feeling. It's not something that you can really ever replace, which is why I don't think it'll ever be replaced. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly, because it makes me sound like a jackass, because everyone I tell, I'm like, you had to be at that show the next time Dark Star, I'm like, guys, Dark Star's playing, we gotta go to Dark Star.
Aren't they fantastic, man?
See, if any of my listeners or viewers in this case haven't gotten the chance to go to a Dark Star Orchestra show, get your asses there, please and thank you. It's Mr. Foley, Tate Kowalik's uncle, if you will. I spoke with him for a bit over our Christmas break, and he said, and this is a guy that he told me, he's like, yeah, I've probably been to about 80 shows from 85 on. I'm like, oh my God, like this guy's real deal.
Yeah, man.
He said 85% to 90% accuracy, that's what Dark Star is. He said, you couldn't have seen Jerry play. I sure as hell couldn't have seen Bob play live. Long live. But that's about as close as it can get. And so that also ties into what we were talking about with these re-listened shows. Is it's about trying to recreate that feeling, and how, you know, many people with, you know, newer age artists, or quite frankly any other artists that don't exactly specialize in live music, it's about how can I feel like I was there while sitting in my room and, you know, knocking about. Yeah. How can I physically transport myself there, mentally transport myself there, while being a 19-year-old in the 2020s.
Yeah.
Because we're always questing for that. We're always questing for the concert, you know, essence. And that's been reduced to a 10-second Instagram story.
Yeah.
It's been reduced. It's been reduced and deduced. Let's double down on it. Come on.
Everything's been getting reduced. Everything, and especially in our generation, I think kids are finally getting sick of it. Just like this AI stuff, and how the videos are getting shorter, and how all the content, everything great. It's one big thing crammed into 10 seconds, and then you watch that over and over again. And you start to realize the thing that was special about these shows is that it wasn't 10 seconds. It was long, over a period of time. Like these bands, especially these jam bands, would warm the audience up with a jam in the beginning, and then they would get into the song. Like if you ever go to a Dark Star show, like a J-Rad show, any of these shows, like they'll open the setup just jamming. They'll get the audience set up. They'll curate a sound, then they'll go. But it's not like what kids our age don't understand is like it'll never, like, it's not just like 10 seconds off the rip and just like stimulation. It's like over time, like gradually working up towards something great. And like, especially at a show like that, it's something special. And I hope at some point in the next couple of years, maybe next like 10, 15 years, we start to realize the importance of just having things be spaced out, not everything be so instant. Like it's, patience is being thinned out, which is one of the most important things you can have in a musical career, in any kind of career. You have just patience. It shouldn't be a virtue. It should be something that we all possess. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah. Well, absolutely. And that patience for the organicness of it. I mean, let's go basic. Let's go broad. Screw all the other, tapers. Let's just talk Cornell 77. People rave over the intro to Scarlet with Bob Weir just saying, everyone take a step back. And it's funny. And I live for that. I'll skip it sometimes, but it's still hysterical when you get to listen to any of the band members that are conversing with the audience. And I hear it in all the shows that I listen to. It's, they're chatting, there's organicness. Lord knows they're off their heads in half of them, but it's like, who can blame them? You create a relationship with the audience instead of, and I don't mean to pick on any artists in particular, so I won't name them, but just now thinking of the choreography and the lights and the lasers and the things that go into making a show so perfect, it's so flawless. And then you look at bands like The Dead, and going back to Phish, it's built on mistakes.
Yeah.
It's built on, whoa, we didn't really know what we were doing there, but it was kind of funny and they seemed to like it. Let's rock out. Instead of, because now it feels like if, I can't even think of an artist. Brent Faiyaz came to mind of all the people, so neither here nor there. Caliucci's, Tyler, the Creator, doesn't matter. If someone makes a mistake, if someone fumbles on their lyrics, that makes the headline of New York Times.
Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator, screws up at concert. Big old, mess up. Big, everyone laugh, everyone gawk. When in reality, it's like, hey, isn't this person traveling between, whether it's a 40-state national tour or an international tour, these people are exhausted. They are ran through. They are, beat down. It takes a lot out of you to redo that same thing over and over. It's very cookie cutter.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's like what you said about mistakes. It's like these people go to these shows and they expect the show to be perfect. And what I always found amazing about bands like The Dead, and what really makes like a fantastic musician, in my time of playing with great musicians throughout most of my young life, it's like getting proficient enough to the point where you can get on stage, give your art, give your love to the audience, your bandmates, while also like playing around with it. Like you're loose enough to the point where you can feel the music throughout your entire body. And that's what like really fantastic performers do with their art. They're loose in it and they're playful with it, because at the end of the day, like it's serious and like they take it seriously, but taking it seriously so that when you get up there, you don't have to take it as seriously because you're comfortable enough with the songs. It's like think about any of those like 89 shows, those 90 shows without a net, anything off of those. They were so comfortable with those songs. It was ingrained into the back of their head. Like they were living tribunals of the music. Like it lived in their veins and they didn't have to try. So they could get creative. They can do whatever they wanted with it. And like when you have such a deep understanding of yourself and your own art that you're able to do something like that. That is one of the greatest feats you can accomplish as a musician. And there's so many people will find an excuse to complain about anything, especially people will just want to complain about anything.
Fact.
And that's like, when you look for those mistakes, when you're so focused on looking for like, this person messed up here, this person messed up here, you ignore like all of the good stuff that happened to you while you were zoned in on the mistakes.
Yes.
And it's like, you gotta, especially at these venues and these music shows, you gotta train your eye to look for all the good stuff. Even if it's not like a genre you like. There have been plenty of shows where I've maybe not have been my genre, maybe not have been my cup of tea, but you listen to the bass part, you like what they're doing, you listen to the drum part. There's just one little thing in each thing that you like, and you take that away and you say, you know what? Wasn't my tea, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't completely outside of my zone. Like, it was great. And like I think some people need to just realize that when listening to these musics.
Right.
Listening to this music.
It's very plural. Well, you're right, because it's multiple versions. And, you speak about how it was ingrained into their heads. And that's what I always think of, because you and I think of Go to Heaven, Grateful Dead's 1980 album, as late. Like, that's late dead.
Yeah.
They've been around since 65, it's late dead. But by the time you get to 90, these late songs, they've been playing it for a decade. I mean, it's still ingrained. And then you see that they're playing China Rider on that. They've been playing I Know You Rider since 65. They're going on 25 years of playing that song. And they're at that
25 years. That's
25 years.
That's everything we've learned throughout our entire life, everything that we've been through, every feeling and emotion we've experienced. That's been one song for some of these people.
Yes. And even for some people that have been going to the shows, they've been hearing it for longer than we've been alive and hearing every variation that it goes through.
And we're just getting to the show.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially because you've got songs like They Love Each Other and Loose Lucy are the two ones that come to mind. And you hear, I believe I'm actually not even going to try for the day. It could be Dick's Pick 17, I want to say, 73. You hear a completely different version of They Love Each Other from Cornell.
Yeah.
It's like night and day. The drums are completely different. Granted, you had one drummer. It was just Kreutzmann. But it evolves over time, and that evolution is something that's so important. And saying evolution makes me think of you as a musician, because I was there in your dorm room last year when you were working on electronica, and I had to bite my lips sometimes because it was, you were figuring out my cameraman's cracking up for Christ.
Our cameraman is laughing here because my roommate I used to play around like electronic music. And he would always say, it's like, yeah, we're making it to aisle 6 with this one. I'm like, I actually can't catch it.
Fresh out of Kmart. Ooh.
Actually, Kmart aisle 6.
Right.
But it's, criticism like that is also what makes you want to try to make better music. And, some people are just so serious in their pursuits and their passions that you forget sometimes that it's okay to laugh at the things that you make. And not everything that comes out of your head has to be the most serious, perfect thing ever. Like, being able to laugh at your mistakes is what makes successful people very, very successful. And especially later on in life, when you're looking back at your mistakes and the things that, you thought were a huge deal in the moment, like being able to laugh at that stuff is what makes us better human beings.
Fact. Complete fact. I don't get why that's supposed to be. I'll never forget at my grad party, I had a beer, too many in retrospect, and I got brought up with Lagoon, who's a wonderful band composed of some of my friends.
Amazing.
You gotta be kidding me. You're already left. And I sang Weatherman by Hank Williams Jr. And it was like, it was a riot. Like, please, it was ridiculous. And right after, I was like, oh my God, like, that was embarrassing. That was stupid. Like, why would I? But now it's, oh my God, Frank, don't you remember when you did that? And it was like, yeah, that was fun. We had a blast. And you can see it in the videos. Everyone's having a ball, which is the important part. Aren't we all supposed to just be kicking it? That's the whole point of this. And speaking of fun and live music, are we going to be booking Tedeschi Trucks for early March?
Beacon? Yeah. I plan on seeing them at least 2 or 3 times. I keep saying this. It's just, I could talk about, like, there's people who I don't like to place like one person in my mind as like my idol. Like, this person is the greatest person of all time. We're all just men at the end of the day. But in terms of guitar players out right now that you see just in the world doing their own thing, there's so many fantastic musicians doing their thing. I don't think there's a player, I wouldn't say the greatest of all time in the world, but there's no player out right now like Derek Trucks. It's just, it's night and day. But what I respect so much about the man is that, you know, he's not trying to be the greatest player of all time. He's trying to sing the music that's in his soul. And he's just, it's like a man maxing out his stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes when we're trying to grow, we try to compare ourselves to other people, but like comparing yourself, it's so corny, but like
Be for joy.
comparing yourself to who you were yesterday and like just looking inside of yourself to see how much you can grow. Like that's beautiful. And to express that through music, like nobody is doing the stuff that he's doing because nobody is him. And he's the amalgamation and the projection of his soul onto this planet. And that's, you know, we all have a soul. Everybody's unique in their own way. And it's just, but like, it takes time to get there. And like, as playing from the time you were 13 with some of the best blues musicians and jam musicians around, you know, you'll find yourself pretty well. And I respect the music that's being made. There's so much, people spend so much time now just like, I need to make this song to get popular. But it's like, there's something to be said about just staying firm, being humble, and just playing the music that you believe in your heart needs to be played. And to be rewarded for that by the universe and by the world. I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's something I think everybody, myself included, should strive to do in a career that they pursue.
Which is good, yeah, because it does transcend, you know, music itself. But at the same time, I think it also finds its home in that. And because, I mean, you've been talking to me left and right about Derek Trucks, and I've finally, after far too long.
How'd you like Midnight in Harlem?
That's a tearjerker. If you have not, what show is that? Was it?
That was bad.
Yeah, it was like 2011, live somewhere. But if you ever get the chance to check out Midnight in Harlem by Tedeschi Trucks Band, I'd beg of you. I mean, that was a pretty long one. They had like a little Martha intro, like a little almond thing. It was kind of a lengthy intro, but I mean, tearjerker. I will say
That'll bring a grown man to tears.
Yeah, just myself included. I mean, I will say definitively here on episode 2 of the Kickback, I believe Susan Tedeschi, no, yeah,
Tedeschi.
yes, is the greatest female blues vocalist alive currently. Playing, yes. I mean, you can make certain arguments for different ladies, different, you know, doing all sorts of different stuff. But in terms of vocal power, nothing. I've definitely played it for you because I think I've played it for everyone.
That live aid, Holman Thrill.
That, yeah, Farm Aid, live, 1999.
Excuse me.
Susan Tedeschi. No. It hurts so bad. You will never. I mean, that woman is blowing out. I wish I tried to research how to turn off the sound monitoring on my AirPods so I could play it louder. And they keep giving me the notification, you need to turn down this sound. I'm like, I'm not listening to you, dude. Like, you can keep telling me to turn it down. I'm not going to listen because I'm sobbing over it. It's ridiculous. So it's that power. But I do want to ask you, because what really brings you to Derek Trucks? Because I remember over the summer when we went to Larry Fest, get there if you can. Central Wisconsin, second last week of August.
Great
Get
people.
down there. Fantastic. You brought your slide. Yeah. And I'm shooting myself in the foot here as a music podcaster. I thought the steel pedal guitar and the slide guitar were the same thing. I did not know that the slide guitar was pretty much the same thing with just a little, add-on. So I'm just wondering, like, what brings you to that? Is it the whine? Is it the grow? Like, speak on it, seriously.
What brings me to the slide guitar? Like
the slide and Trucks and, just sort of that sound, sonically speaking.
The soul. You know what I mean? It's powerful.
It can whine. It sounds, yeah.
You hear incredible players and you hear people doing what they can with the instrument that's given to them, but then you hear something like that and it's not, I'd like to think of myself as someone who's pretty good at articulating my feelings into words, but you've heard it. You hear something as powerful as that. It's otherworldly. It's being borrowed from some plane of existence that's not the one that we're living in right now. It's beautiful. It makes you, like really powerful music and really powerful playing will do that. It'll make you believe in love again. You know what I mean? Just like it's like the manifestation of just pure, amazing love on a planet. And that's why I respect these guys as playing. Why I respect amazing players who just, there's love behind it and there's weight. And you go to you play music and you play these songs and you play with people. And there's been so many instances where, like you were saying this earlier, just like about making mistakes and just being like, oh, well, that stinks. But it was like, yeah, Frank, we all had a good laugh. And there have been so many times where I'm always looking to get better at what I do, but there'll be times after a show I'll be like, God, that was ridiculous. I can't believe they let me on stage to play that. My friends will be the next day, like, Alex, we had a great time at that show, and we all had an amazing time. And it's just the beautiful thing, because, you know, when you take yourself out of it, you might not have had the greatest show ever, but like at the end of the day, being a great musician is about the camaraderie and the people that go to these shows and the people who surround you. Are like, it's about creating an amazing environment for the people you love and the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times when it's like, I want to play my heart out, but at the end of the day, it's about playing for the people. It's about creating a beautiful atmosphere and a welcoming atmosphere. Like, you know, some people find the love of their lives at concerts. And it's like, it's real. These sounds are powerful. It's not something that should be taken for granted.
Taken for granted, yeah.
Was that a little off topic, or was that that kind of answer?
There's no such thing as off topic on the Kickback. The whole, I pitched it to everyone that comes on here, because I mean, you know, yourself included, this is not a dig by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot of, like, it's a podcast, like, is this going to be, scrap it. Because as some of you may know, I had a podcast for the past few years. It's been a long hiatus, and it's been since retired, Talking Buckets with Frank Spicuzza. Enjoyable, good times. And, you know, I got credit for it, and I got, you know, respect and was commended for it. And it was like, hey, that was a great thing. And it was a great way to practice speaking and to practice getting behind the microphone. But it was so rigid, and it was so...
There's no room to breathe.
Correct. I had a script laid out, and I was reading off facts from websites. I mean, I re-listened to some of those episodes once in a blue moon, and it's, this person scored 28.2 points per game, and this person, who on God's green earth gives a shit about any of that? No one. No one at all. That's why Stephen A. Smith and all the other goobers on those shows get paid the big bucks and get the prime time, because they're not talking, they're just shouting for like a half an hour a day, and the people go, that's entertaining. You know, and so that's why everyone that comes on here, we're going to have, you know, Sal, the wonderful, you know, founder of Pugsley's Pizza, and one of his coworkers, Jonathan. We're going to have on Mustafa of Super Best Deli. And I tell him, I'm like, this is just like, let's just have fun. I don't care, you know, how long is it going to be? I don't know. How long do you want to talk about music for? You know, it's because, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I told Finn, our cameraman, I said, here are some signs for 30 and 45 minutes, because we're going to have to wrap up at some point. Otherwise, it'll be midnight. And we're going to go, oh, God, we got to get out of here.
I have like 1,000 things to do. I didn't do anything, so it was just on the Kickback.
Right.
Talking about some...
I'm like, kick back, get your feet. Yeah, I'm like, relax, which is good. But no, I will say, I do want to ask you if there is a show or a year or anything of the like of the Grateful Dead, because I haven't asked you this in quite some time.
No.
Has it changed from Without a Net? And for those of you that do not know, Without a Net is a compilation album from late '89, I believe October, to April, again, tentatively, not 100% certain, of 1990. It's a compilation of some of the most fantastic music they've done in their later career. One of the greatest Feel Like a Strangers I've ever heard of. Wonderful Althea, great Bird Song. Is there a year, is there a show, or is it still Without a Net?
Live shows? No, I haven't listened to too many live shows. I've listened to what I've listened to, and Without a Net was really the one that really did it for me. They had a fantastic Eyes of the World.
Oh, good Lord have mercy. How did I not mention the Eyes of the World? Please keep going. That
was a fantastic, just playing with these records have taught me so much about, you know, musicianship and just what it means to be a fantastic musician, because you can learn tabs all day, but really playing, getting in there and getting organic and being like kind of in the field, playing what these guys played, you know, it gives you a new perspective that you can't really get just from doing somebody else's work. But, you know, I could listen to more live shows. I wouldn't say I'm like a crazy deadhead. I appreciate what they did. And
yeah, no, none of us are crazy head. Like, I should listen to more live stuff too, bro. Like,
just all day, this guy just listens to like live shows. I don't think he's listened to anything different in the past year and a half since I've met you, actually, just about like a year ago.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I was top 500 listeners for the Dead. That's a flex that I try and humbly. I try and sneak that into every conversation regarding music. But it's true because it is just enjoyable, and I always talk about because I've had a lot of people ask me like, what gives? Like, why are you so into that? And it's because last year, actually 2024 and 2025, Dead were my most listened to.
Yeah.
But you look at 2023, it went Deftones, Nirvana, Electric Wizard, great doom metal, Alice in Chains, and again, still love listening to it. Like, it's a good time, but
something just happened.
So something switched. But it's like, I don't know. And so I tell people, I'm like, I don't really, enjoy it for one reason or another, but it did save me from listening to that constantly. And it was a constant influx of negativity and hardness. And Slipknot was another one. And you can only listen to so much Slipknot. You can only listen to so much Slipknot. Because it was all centered around.
Got transported back to 8th grade.
Good. I'm glad. I wanted to take you on a little trip there. I want to just start throwing artists at you until you got transported.
Oh my God.
I can't. I refuse to. I mean, maybe there will be a metal episode. Actually, I take that back. I'm sure there will be a metal episode, but I'm gonna have to meditate beforehand. Because you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, why?
It's intense stuff.
It's intense. I remember sitting in my car, I'm like, how do I turn off the sound modulator on my 2018 Toyota Highlander so I can play Eyeless at 8,000 decibels?
I remember I used to go to the gym, and there was one time where I almost got kicked out of a public gym because I had just gotten the earphones, the Apple earphones. I had turned it on.
Oh.
It was like just sick, like da 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 da. And I was just like bicep curls, just I don't know what the hell I had taken before that. It was
right.
Dumbass pre-workout.
It was just
like. I was just like going crazy. It was like still to this day one of the best workouts I've ever had in my entire life. And the guy comes up to me, he's like, you're like grunting like louder than the speaker. Like if you don't stop, you're gonna have to leave. I'm like, it's the power of music, man. They
get concerned. It's a visceral reaction. But that's exactly like the power of music and the power of like I think I scowled more than I smiled that year. You know what I mean? It was a constant like,
I'm a great way of putting it.
It's true. Like I was in a constant like, okay, time to be angry now. Like let's listen to whatever it is, anything from Iowa, any of that. It's okay. I am now going to switch into this mode where, people are hostile, people are aggressors, and I think that's why I love that Grateful Dead sound and these jam sounds so much because, it doesn't have to be a, late 80s Althea, woo, woo, everybody's freaking out. But it can just, let's talk, what do you want to do? Baltimore 73, Dick's Picks 36. A little China Rider, a little here, a little this, that. It's calm, it's quaint, it gets you through the day. Yeah. I'll put on the half-hour Mountain Jam from Fillmore 71, Allman Brothers.
Oh my God.
Just to keep her moving. Or a Big Long Dark Star. Every day in class last year. Toss in an AirPod, find a great Dark Star that lasts a half an hour from early 70s, and then you just get to turn the brain off. I think that is something that I've been trying to get around to. I've been beating around the bush about the turning off of the thought process. How do I think of these lyrics? How do I, because there's a very famous quote from Robert Hunter, the Grateful Dead's main lyricist, that involved someone was asking about the lyrics of Dark Star, and if you've ever heard of Dark Star, it's a jam they usually play that usually lasts anywhere between 10 minutes to a half hour. And, nothing sounds the same, nothing, and the lyrics are very strange, as they are on most of their songs, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Dark Star crashes into, like, what are you talking about? So someone asked...
Makes perfect sense.
Bingo. They go, Hunter, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Dark Star crashes into light, shatters into ashes, like, right? And everyone else,
what the hell are you guys talking about?
Right. And it's like, just accept it at face value. There's so much digging. And I think things like Genius and other, platforms have been, let's dissect these lyrics. Let's take a closer look. Why can't it just all be conglomerate? A big, grouping of it all.
It's like, why do the lyrics have to be separate from the music?
Yes.
It's like it's one organism.
Yes.
It's like if I wanted to understand Frank Spacuzza, Like, I wanted to understand who you are as like a man. It's like, all right, well, let's look at your hands. You know what I mean? Like, let's look at your fingers.
Right.
Like that's everything. It's like, it's the whole thing.
Yes.
The drums have something to say. The bass have something to say. It's an organism. It's not just one. The lyrics are just one part of it. It's like the music as a whole. It's like the lyrics are in the center, but it's like the heart. But like, there's so many other things that go into like a song or music. Like, it's not just one thing. So to dissect that and think that you can find the meaning of the song through those words is ridiculous, because there's so many different people bring so many different things on any given track.
Yes.
Like, you forget that like the people who are playing these shows are different people with their own minds, bodies, and spirits, and just they're all adding something to it.
Well, and now I'm curious about what you've been doing, because obviously Alessandro here is our a lead guitarist for the wonderfully talented band Code of Conduct, playing a bunch of shows. Actually, I'll let you plug at the end of the episode what your your shows are going to be, so stick around for those. But I'm wondering what you've been cooking up lately, because I was there at your last show where you guys played that wonderful Fire on the Mountain, that wonderful Have a Cigar. These are great covers, and I know you guys have some awesome originals, but have you been cooking up anything lyric-wise, or just sort of, giving it to rest a little bit? What's been going on in your musical brain?
I'm always writing. There's always something going on. I'm always putting something down on a piece of paper. There's always something going into a computer that I'm working on. It's, like, life gets in the way sometimes, and there's like, being a university student, you gotta balance certain things, and getting older. I used to have a lot of free time, not a lot of responsibilities, and now, things are starting to get a little bit more real, and you got to learn how to balance that. It's a beautiful challenge to be able to balance all these amazing things coming at your plate, figure out where to put everything, just like kind of cut the elephant down a little bit, eat one piece at a time. But it's, we're working on originals right now, and we're looking to get some stuff out there. But, we found this new guitar player as a good friend of mine.
You're Bob Weir, as I've been told.
It's he's a fantastic player, and it's a player that I didn't think I was going to find here, and it's I'm really grateful that he's found his way into the band, and we hope it goes well, because he's a wonderful kid, and we're trying to figure out how to get accustomed and play with each other, because it's bringing in another person, like, the sound kind of changes. Like, one person can change the sound of a band so much, and it's grateful that he gave me the call, that he was looking to play, and looking to do something great with this Code of Conduct thing here. So whatever that looks like, I hope it's wonderful, and I hope we can put our best foot forward and everything, and just maybe put out some beautiful art along the way.
And so far, so good. Clearly, I mean, you've been playing like a rock star, and it's kind of felt surreal sometimes. And I understand there may be bias, there may be, well, he's my buddy and this and that, but it really has been, whoa, like this guy is on the verge. And I do mean that sincerely. And I wrote this in my article about Lagoon way last year. I said that, I play in a band is a very, it gets strung around. It can be very, you play in a band? Wow. And it's a great thing. I not taking away however bad or good you are objectively, but there are certain folks like yourself that elevate it to the next level, especially for this age and skill demographic. And, it's between you and seeing like one of those 6-year-olds on Instagram Reels that's playing the entire Help on the Way Slipknot solo. That's a savantism. We don't, ignore all of that, please. So I will say that I do appreciate what you're doing for our scene, especially in a world of, and again, not to demean, I think DJing is wonderful. I think, Dylan Gallagher, a great friend of mine, excellent DJ, putting down tracks, and you're staying contemporary as well. But I think to come into this scene as a guitarist and saying, look, we're not going to play the White Stripes over and over. No, you guys, when you played Adventure of a Lifetime by Coldplay, I was like, what? Like, what planet? It was an awesome set list. Guns N' Roses, Coldplay.
Wasn't that first show incredible?
That blew my mind.
That first show was amazing. Our old keyboardist, Sam, he has a song out, by the way. Maybe we could put a link to that. It's
absolutely.
Our old keyboardist just released a song, and he's
link will be in the description, ladies.
I came into this band, and I was surrounded by these great musicians. It was just amazing players.
Yeah.
And we had one show together as like 5 people, and that was the olden days. That was like back in September.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. That's old now.
But we we got to play one show together, and it was fantastic. We all had a wonderful time. I think the audience had a wonderful time as
I
well.
was dancing with my lady. I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it was so much fun.
We,
That was like one of the first times where I was like, this music thing is beautiful. And there's always a moment where it was like, when I kind of realized at that show was that entire week, like predating that, like I was learning the set list, like everything was like, this has got to be perfect. And then we got on that stage towards the end of the second set where we were all just having fun, ripping. I think Sam did a backflip, like during one of the Michael Jackson songs.
I must have left early. Good Lord. Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, we're at Clinton Hall. We're having fun with our buddies. Like, it's all good people here. Like, we're not on a stage. Like, loosen the hell up and just have a good time. And, you know, I'm really grateful that I got to play with people as talented as Sam and Bilal at that time. So.
I do remember how excited you were when you found that group because, Irish Exit. Stella, Aisha, and company, you guys are absolutely stellar. I can't wait to see your guys. They actually have a show this Friday.
Do they really?
They do. I think we should truck down. They sent me a note. I said, love to be there. I got to send him a note.
Oh my God.
I got to send him a note. But I remember, because obviously it was great. Love those shows. They were all wonderful. But I remember when you joined up with these guys, you were bright. You were luminous is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It was, I could see it and you're like, wow, like these are the people that you've been looking for. And because I remember you had an anxiety.
Shout out to my drummer, Ryan, my singer, Bryce. Not mine, but like as the band, I don't like to say mine, but Ryan, Bryce, Jack, like playing with these people has been just so fantastic. And not only like it's just taught me more about what it means to be a musician. It's more about playing songs. It's about camaraderie. It's about energy, and it's about life. And just, I'm grateful that I've gotten the experience to play with such amazing people and in such a wonderful, welcoming environment. And just all the people that I've met from this journey is just, I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad that this is something that like I'm skillful at something, and I'm able to present it in a way that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
and widely enjoyed.
I'm able to make great stuff with great people and just do amazing things. It's a blessing. You know, the health, everything. It's amazing.
Right.
There's so much love in my heart for this, for all the people that have helped me get to the places that I am. It's just, I'm very, very grateful for life as of recent. I'm just grateful for all the wonderful things it's brought me.
Which is rightfully so. Yeah, because I mean, it's hard. I can imagine it's hard not to be. I mean, you've played these awesome venues. You guys are finally starting to, I say finally, excuse me, but like getting downtown into these different venues. When I saw you post your, list of shows that you had going on, I was like, wow, like these guys they're making it, like, slowly but surely. And I saw the video that you posted today, and I will tag Alessandro's Instagram in our description. You'll be able to see all of his playing there. It's all wonderful stuff. Be sure to tap in. And just sort of thinking about how, powerful that was, and how it's like, he's creating something for himself. Because I remember you had that anxiety about, what was it? About finding people of, your level and of your sort of stature in terms of musical expertise. So
I wouldn't say musical expertise. There's just so much more to learn, there were times where I was like, yeah, I've learned all this and I've got it figured out, but there's musical expertise. I wouldn't say that at all. I hope to just be getting started. I hope to meet so many more fantastic professional people that just will teach me so much more. But, I would say I'm knowledgeable, but expertise, there's so much more to learn. And I would hate to cut it off at this now, I'm 20 years old,
Damn right. Well, then let's not cut it off. Sandro, it has genuinely been an absolute blessing.
Thank you
to have you on. This was a blast. I'm so glad we got it kicking again. This past summer was supposed to be filled with a bunch of episodes. It fell through, but we're very grateful to our people here at Pugsley's Pizza.
Grateful.
Fordham's own, and beyond happy to have you on. So why don't you tell the folks where your next shows are at, what's going on, anything new for the band that we can expect to hear?
Well, all of our shows are posted on our Instagram if you want to check those out. And
that'll be in the description.
We're going to be at Connolly's on the 20th. It's going to be a riot. We're going to have a really fun time. We're going to be around Fordham for quite some time. So if you're ever in the area, please come by a show. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to play our beautiful music for you. So thank you for having me, Frank.
Thank you all so much for tuning into the Kickback. I have been Frank Spacuzza, joined here with Alessandro Badalamenti. We will see you all next week.